Hello and welcome back everyone to the Powder Toy. I know you've been waiting for me to return to this game. I'm not stupid, I know what you like. But we're ready. We're ready for something new, something exciting. With the return of the Blood Dam. I don't even remember if I did make a Blood Dam in the past, but I'm going to assume I did because that's kind of the sort of thing I would do. And I have a lot of videos, so I'm not going to bother looking through all of them. But I have a plan, because this time, if I have done it before, we're going to do it with two major goals. Those goals are going to be, number one, the dam needs to generate power. And number two, the dam is required to actually survive, because it's got blood. I don't want the blood to die and coagulate. This is using the mod that I developed for the Powder Toy. If you aren't aware, you can get on GitHub. Building it's kind of challenging, and one day I really need to go and clean up the project so that other people can use it more easily. Let's go ahead and set the foundation, and we're gonna have some rocks, and then on top of that we'll put sand. We'll build the dam here. I also delete the wall over here so that the water, or the blood I guess, can just spill out. But at the same time, we have to actually make a dam. And I'm a professional at building dams in video games. You should see my City Skylines series. If not, let's go ahead and build a dam. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna dig down into the ground. And we're going to start out by sticking a massive titanium rod into the ground, which is going to serve as kind of the base for our structure. And then around that, we're going to go ahead and build two very tall ceramic walls. We're going to use ceramic how concrete would normally be used, because ceramic is very strong and we want this dam to be able to survive against some pretty large occurrences. Now, fun fact about dams, we have to consider that water has weight. Because water has weight, the bottom of a dam actually needs to be thicker and stronger than the top of a dam. That's why you see in dams, they kind of bow out on the bottom. You'll see what I mean in a moment when I actually build it. But it's very critical that you follow that design, because if you don't follow that design, and the top and bottom of the dam are the same strength, the top of the dam is going to be fine, but the bottom, all of that weight of all of the water, or in our case, blood up here, the weight's going to all be pushing down here, and it's going to blow the bottom of the dam out. So using our engineering skills, we're going to go ahead and counteract that. I'm just going to lazily just plump extra material here, and then I'm going to go ahead and do this. Boom. It's a pretty cool way to make a dam look kind of natural. We do have to rebuild the ground after, but now we have the bottom of the dam properly set up to be much stronger than the top of the dam, so that the weight of the water can be managed. Did I actually do the math out on how thick the bottom should be versus the top? Nope. Nope, because that's not the kind of channel I run. The math is not what you're here for. Anyways, we're getting a lot of blood, and it's piling up here. We don't have it dying yet, so that's good. But we're still kind of in a situation where momentarily the blood is going to pour out of the dam, and what's the point of the dam if it's not generating any electricity or doing anything of value? Question. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a little pathway through the dam that we control. In this bottom section with some more space, we're going to go ahead and we're going to make the water fall, because the energy we are harvesting out of the water is because of it being up high. The higher the dam is, the more potential energy it has, and when it falls through this system, all the weight up here is being pushed through, you're going to have it turn a turbine and generate electricity. In our case, a turbine is going to be done by detector, which will detect the electricity passing through. And we will go ahead and grab some material to actually transfer that electricity. We're gonna insulate this titanium core here, copper. We've insulated it with the ceramic because we don't really want the electricity to just go through the entire dam. This game isn't great at simulating electricity. It's good at simulating circuits, but when it comes to actually how electricity acts, it can get a little wacky. Fine. We just have to account for it. Alright, now we're going to use some titanium to get the electric charge out of here that it actually generates. We're going to run that all the way up the dam. So, if you can't tell, I've been doing a lot in my free time and getting very good at using the actual building tools. And if you check out my channel, I have a little tutorial on how to use those building tools properly. Oh, I screwed that up. That is not a straight line. Alright. There we go. Boom! So now we're going to see, hopefully, if I go frame by frame, this blood is going to pass through, and when it passes through this section and falls, it's going to convert its, kinetic energy from it falling. It's going to hit our generator, and it's going to generate electricity. It's going to go up the dam like so, and as you can see, we are now generating electricity. So we've done our first goal of the dam. We are actually generating electricity. I don't know what we're going to make the electricity do. Let's make it fire a laser into the sky. That's kind of cool. What is the laser? Something ray, I think. Ray, A-ray. A-ray? Where'd it go? A-ray. Ray emitter. Is that it? Yeah! Cool! We can shoot a beacon into the... Oh, okay, so we are not letting enough of the blood through the dam. It's not going fast enough, which is causing issues. Because it's overflowing. That's not good. So let's go ahead and come up with a solution to this. We could make a second exit for the blood to go through. I think that's probably the best solution. So let's make this dam a little bit more complicated. We're gonna have to do it like up to here, and then we'll have it go down to here like so. Oh boy, okay. It's alright. This is part of this game. You know, you design something, it works or it doesn't work, and then you redesign it. Go ahead and put some more detector here so that we can actually generate power from this part of the dam. But we still have a bottleneck, meaning that we're still going to have some issues with this. This is also going in the wrong direction. Ah, shoot. Alright, this is a slight mess. I'm not going to worry about that at the moment. What I'm going to worry about at the moment is that this bottom is not allowing enough liquid through. So let's go ahead and expand this so that more blood can pour through the dam. Redesign this a little bit. Be as effective as possible. There we go. So now we have a lot more volume of blood that can pass through at one time. I don't know if it's enough. That is a lot that we can pass through, but we also have a problem. This is kind of like a lake over here. We're not actually getting much through. So let's make sure that the blood actually has somewhere to go when it leaves. Let's make sure it's getting pulled through. And just to help that out a little bit more, we're gonna say this is sloped down. Yeah, I'm gonna give us some advantages here because otherwise this is gonna be a mess of a video. Just like all of my other videos. Alright, there we go. Okay, so now the blood should be pouring down this way. We'll just erase the wall here so that I can just happily leave. And hopefully now we're getting rid of enough that it's able to go down all the way. I think it is. I think we've got this balanced now. You can see that it's no longer pouring as much off at the top here. So I think the blood dam is seeing minor success. Minor success. Now there's actually another way we could generate electricity with the blood dam. It's gonna make this taller. We could use neurons, which, if properly fed with oxygen kept alive, will generate electrical impulses. Very inefficient way to create electricity, but it is a blood dam, so perhaps we should give it a go. This is very barely not flowing. Decreases a little bit to make it a little bit less absurd. Alright, let's go ahead and make this more biological, because the blood, I made it take way too long for blood to die in this version of my mod. So it's still alive, but it's really sad looking, it's really dark. Let's go ahead and begin giving it a little bit more punch. We're going to give the damn lungs. Yeah, so here's how that's going to work. We're going to go ahead and at the bottom of the dam here, we're going to cut a hole in here. Let's go ahead and get the lung material. Lung is simple. It transfers oxygen to blood when it's touching and when it's touching oxygen. Now to get oxygen, we're just going to spawn it in because the powder toy doesn't actually have an atmosphere normally. As you can see, it's just black. There's no beautiful blue sky. So you can kind of think of it as being in space. It's just a void. But we'll use some clone along with some oxygen here. And now you'll see that the lung is brightening up, and it's getting bright because we've got oxygen. And the cells are happy. And now you can see that the blood is actually beginning. Let's go to fancy display. It'll look a little bit brighter. We can go to fancy display and we can actually see, oh, we have blood leaking in. That's not good. All right, we're going to try to develop a better system here. We're going to make the entire inner lining of the wall out of lung. Sure, there won't be any potential repercussions. Now, lung takes a lot less time to die than blood, so we do have to be a little bit careful. If it dies, the dam might start falling apart. That's not preferable, especially with the quantity of blood we're holding back. Alright, straight shot through here. Boom. Now all we need to do is get some clone, creating oxygen. I forgot to hold down shift. What if I do it like this? I'll do that, and then I will oxygen on top of that. And then just in case blood leaks in, I'm going to put void at the bottom, so if it falls to the bottom, it gets deleted. There we go. Okay, let's see how this goes. There's a lot more surface area, and we can actually see it's kind of mixing in. Look at that go. All right, I think this design is working much better. We can actually see that this is diffusing in. Oh man, look at it go. You can see that the lung can actually transfer to blood close to it, not just right next to it. And the entire dam is starting to lighten a little bit. I don't know if you can tell, the shades of red are very close together, but it is getting healthier. The only issue is that this entire thing is full of CO2 now, isn't it? Yeah. We're going to need a little bit more void to clean that out. Just like every once in a while. This is not going to be a pretty solution, but it's a solution. And I mean, it's a giant dam full of blood. I don't think that pretty really applies to the conversation at this point. Alright, there we go. Alright, so things are looking very good. Now there's a few things that this dam is susceptible to. The number one thing that the dam is susceptible to at the moment is a virus. It is a giant container of blood, and bacteria will take advantage of that very quickly. If you want to see what I mean by that, let's go ahead and introduce some bacteria into the mix. I just dropped some right there. It turns bright green when it's doing well, and we're going to see what it does with this giant dam of blood. You'll notice that the blood around it is beginning to die. It's turning into dead tissue, that brown stuff that's falling. The bacteria is slowly spreading through the blood. The dam has sepsis, and that's not good. Now, we can try to deal with this and fight the infection. That's why we have white blood cells. Let's go ahead and surround this with white blood cell clumps and see if the white blood cells can deal with the infection or if it's too late. Alright, white blood cells are getting to work. They're going to attempt to kill the bacteria before it spreads too far, but we might be in trouble. There is a lot of bacteria now. That is a rather, you can see down here the dead tissue is actually heavier than stone and sand, which is something that really needs to be fixed. It is causing a mountain of dead tissue, and that is not good. That's going to clog up the dam and cause us some real problems in the near future. The infection is just growing and growing and growing. There's a few ways we can try to deal with it at this point, one of which being just general trying to kill it. Let's go ahead and do a slightly risky move. I'm going to go ahead and try to blow it up. It's a dam. I'm going to use thermite, and I'm going to try to burn it to death. We're just going to put it right above. Hopefully this doesn't kill all the blood as well. But if we set this thermite on fire and drop it... Oh! I mean, it certainly did a lot of damage. It's killing a lot. Only issue is that the lungs caught on fire, and now the oxygen caught on fire, and game over. Everything's blocked up. But I can hit undo a few times and get back to before any of this bad stuff really happened. Let's go ahead and get rid of the infection manually. Now you know the importance of having white blood cells in your creation. The blood is going to continue dying for a bit because a lot of it's super low in health after that. But ta-da! Now we have white blood cells just floating around. So let's introduce a lot of those. We don't want this to happen again, so let's just put a ton of white blood cells. White blood cells use a lot of resources, which is why you don't want to do like 100%. You can see actually the blood around the white blood cells is getting less red because white blood cells are using up a ton of the oxygen, generating a ton of CO2. But that's okay. I didn't put enough that it's a huge issue, and they're just going to spread through the blood nicely. Alright, so our living dam is actually doing super well. We could actually convert the outside of it to skin, which would grow. I don't know if that's really necessary, though. I can't really transfer the oxygen this far because there's a big titanium center. I think it's okay. We don't have to worry about that. Now, there is one other thing that could really cause problems for our beautiful little blood dam there, which is radiation, because radiation can cause cancer, and cancer is extremely dangerous, especially when you're managing a massive blood dam. So let's go ahead and do a neutron burst over here and see what happens. Alright, so we have some neutrons, which are impacting the blood, going through the dam. Now, it's not a 100% chance that it'll get cancer, you know, just like real life. It increases the chances, but it's not set in stone. But let's see if we see anything weird happen after that. Anything concerning? No? I think the white blood cells probably took care of any cancerous cells that began to grow, and that time nothing happened. Let's do it again. Let's use photons this time, and let's do quite a beam of photons. Kind of like when you don't wear sunscreen. Ooh, these cells over here got absolutely hammered by that. All right. Do you have anything interesting happening now? I don't actually see anything. We've gotten pretty lucky so far with this. I was expecting it to be far more dramatic. Alright, let's hit it a third time. we'll go over here and we'll directly strike the inside of the dam. I mean, this is going to do something. The white blood cells are good at their job, but that was a lot. Ooh, it kind of messed up the lungs. Whoops. The lungs are all leaking out now. Forgot about that. Soft objects can be displaced by neutrons, so maybe that's not the best idea. We'll just hit this a little bit harder. If not, I'll just manually place it because I don't want to wait 8 years. Alright, let's see what happens. There's a lot of interesting physics going on. Oh, is that what I think it is? Oh, that's lung just hanging out. It's a neutron. Ah! Wow, okay, I think I just put a whole lot of white blood cells and it's preventing this from happening. Good job, white blood cells. Let's go back a little bit and let's just manually do this. We'll put one little tumor in here and see what happens. As you can see, it grows very quickly. Very quickly. And it starts hijacking blood and spreading, well, it's all blood, but you'll see it's going to jump around and cause multiple tumors throughout the dam. It is extremely challenging once a tumor takes hold for the white blood cells to do anything about it. At that point, it's kind of game over unless you physically give it a little bit of assistance. And there it goes, wiping out our dam. But that doesn't mean it's too late. It's just close. We could use poison to try to get rid of this. Kind of like a sort of chemotherapy. It's fighting back really hard. Maybe that won't do it, but perhaps using the forces of fire and just burning it. Nope. Nah, that's I mean, it certainly killed a bunch of it, but what can you do? I mean, at this point, it's game over. I'm curious if I just put some uranium inside of the dam, if that would have had the effect. Let's see if it gets cancer now that I've put a bunch of plutonium inside. I was gonna do uranium, I did plutonium because plutonium is even more fun. I mean, surely a big blob of plutonium inside of the blood dam. Because, not to be dramatic or anything, but do not store plutonium near living tissue. It just doesn't end well. Actually, kind of surprised. Maybe this build I'm doing is before that feature was added, because we probably should have had something occur. Does look like some cells are dying. I do see some dead cells appearing, so I wonder if that is just tumor. The white blood cells are just doing a really good job. No, though, they don't seem very spread out. The white blood cells seem very concentrated in a line here. Not doing the best. But no, I don't see any tumor. I really don't. Could introduce some nihonium, which causes a slight amount of damage. Yeah, that's fine. Nihonium moment. Incredibly unstable element, which is just going to turn the entire map into a fusing mess. Well, along with the plutonium, I guess. You'll notice that the heat is going to very quickly kill off all the blood in the dam. It's just not meant for fusion temperatures. And, yeah, the entire dam's gonna go bye-bye. I know what you all want to see. You want to see the dam actually collapse. I know. If I punch a hole in it. Weesh. Very dramatic. Alright, guys. That was enough fun. You can see we were able to create a blood dam. We went through a few versions of the blood dam falling apart and dying. And thank you all for watching. I hope you've learned a lot for your next Blood Dam experience. Spike Viper certified. Have a nice night. Or day, depending on where and when you're watching it, I guess.